Chile here with Sirius Taurus Moon, and this is Mars Hour, Saturn night, and I want to talk about the upcoming Mars-Lilith conjunction, because the Sun ingresses to Scorpio when Mars is 22 degrees Scorpio, and Mars will conjoin Lilith on the 23rd degree. So it begins in 23 October, and Mercury is on degree 22. The good news is that Lilith by then will be 23rd degree of Scorpio. Now, this Sun ingress is with Venus in 11th degree Libra. Now we have Mercury 11th degree Scorpio, and basically we're talking about the end of the month, October 22. Gonna have 21 new moon in Libra, a 28 Libra with the moon squaring Pluto. Now the moon is separating from basically opposition to Pluto. Then Neptune basically reingresses the next day to Pisces, and Sun next day ingresses to Scorpio. So this is the part of October that right after the new moon is accentuating on the last last decan of Scorpio, with Mars going through Mercury going through Mars and Lilith, and then Mars conjoining Lilith at 23 degrees. Now, Mars 22 from Scorpio will be when the Sun exactly squares Pluto. This is 24th of October, and it marks Scorpio season. So I'm not doing a Scorpio season video just yet, but it marks Scorpio season. The moon is going over that decan, and this is in trine to Jupiter, Procyon, still direct, and Saturn with the growing moon. Now, there are going to be clashes of power between leaders, and that can give there is a clash of the authority figure, and Lilith at the last decan of Scorpio is cold cases to do with sexual sovereignty, and they are to do with bombings, because it's degree of bombings and Mars is degree of killing. So basically, a day before the conjunction is the more questionable part of basically Scorpio season, where Mars rules the Sun that is squaring Pluto, closing square on degree of lethality, and conjoining Lilith. And so it is degree of something that is not new, and with the nature of Scorpio and the nature of the square to Pluto, it can be something to do with the part of spiritual warfare that has to do with sexual sovereignty. And those that were leaders of classified projects to do with that part, but not just contemporary. It is I think it's looking like a declaration of hidden war on the leaders of psychosexual, spiritual, occultistic war. And there can be, what I see here is either it's the hidden cause of bombings and terror, or that it's going to occur on kind of like a Frank Olson type of thing. I already received that you see, power, when people abuse power, it dissolves. And to activate power against people, it means that there's loss of power. Because that energy, when it is invested, particularly in spiritual warfare against people, then there's something ethereal that happens with Scorpio that points the energy at the leaders that do that. But it's coming from something that's called case. Now this is an opening of a cycle. It's not a closing of a cycle. The moon, after the new moon, is going over that decan. And it can be an opening of a cycle to do with spiritual warfare. But this one, it has a cold case type of, and Mars and Saturn, the trine between that last decan to the last decan of Pisces, gives it a mythical, and it has a duration. So a spiritual battle that opens here is of something to do with this not new, and it opens a cycle that has a duration. Also to do with Jupiter Procyon. Lilith here can have to do with a cold case. It can be that upon the solution of a cold case, to do with it can range from political assassination or any type of murder, and the solution has to do with psychosexual war that is hidden, but even it can have to do with MK often. And this opens a cycle that has duration, a big cycle that has duration, and there's a mythical quality. It can be that it even opens a cycle of solving cold cases, of assassination, with additional awareness to something about sexual sovereignty that is hidden, and even spiritual rape. Um, This is a closing cycle. And this decan is also planned to oppose Uranus Sedna and sextile Pluto. So the open clash between the Sun and Pluto is addressed by solution to certain cold case. For example, spiritual warfare or people being raped can lead to leader being assassinated. Or that there is an assassination of leaders that use spiritual rape. But this cycle is going to have duration. Occult may be another occult rape, and this is cold cases of occult rape are being associated with. I think it can be on like Epstein list, the true list, something like that, where cold cases of assassination are being solved by understanding that there was spiritual rape involved with um, assassinating, and or that there was occultistic practices that had to do with rape, or at the very least incubus succubus type of practices, and the warding off is lethal. Mars will conjoin Lilith on degree 23, and this is where let's just say we will begin to view the cold cases differently. For example, JFK assassination and occult rape. So was occult rape leading to JFK assassination? Type of questions like that. And because Lilith in that decan of Scorpio, let me see where Lilith is now, is 22 and already. Lilith in that decan of Scorpio is already beginning to address this topic. Mars hour, Mars Scorpio. And Lilith murders those who violate sexual sovereignty, even in the astral. Like it's supposed to be obvious, but this is not something to, it's not energy to play with. Okay? Because the cycle that will be opening will be mythically big and have duration. So we might have consecutive political assassinations of those that used uh, any type of occult related rape, occult cases of rape. But with Lilith Scorpio, it's giving me like, like the Epstein ring, and there would be a beginning of a cycle of assassinating these people because they're losing the power by doing ritual sacrifice.